Good afternoon and welcome to 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. This afternoon you find us at Kappa Shots, home of Waltham Abbey, for what is undoubtedly Southern League Division 1 Central's match of the day. Third place Waltham Abbey against fourth place Ware. Full live commentary coming up from myself, Peter Hill, and hopefully layered up this afternoon is our match summariser Simon Alamandi.
Yeah, good afternoon, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone. And we're in for an interesting game this afternoon. As you said, it's two sides that, although they're third and fourth in the table, their form can be a bit erratic. So nobody seems to know really what we're going to be getting this afternoon. And it's one of those that we're just going to have to wait and see what happens through the 90 minutes to see what sort of game we get.
Yeah, absolutely. It's two teams who have been consistent in their inconsistency, really, at times this season. If you look at this Waltham Abbey team, I mean, they've been involved in games which have created 67 goals so far this season, and they've been involved in 17 matches, so my math's not so brilliant, but you're looking at least 3-4 goals a game when the games Waltham Abbey have played. I mean, they've won 5-2, won 6-2, lost 5-1 and 4-2, so really has been all over the place, and fairly similar for Ware. I mean, that massive thumping at Bedford 7-1, lost of course 4-1 at Hadley in the FA Trophy, 4-0 at Biggleswade last time out away from home, but they've had some big wins as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, considering all that, Pete, we could be in for a 0-0.
Yeah, it probably is going to be. Let's take you through the two team lineups anyway. We thought Ware might add to their squad in the week, and they've done so with the signing of Echo Coker, a 6'5" centre back, formerly of Enfield Town and Hanwell, and they brought an old boy back as well, not in terms of age, but in terms of the number of times he's been at the club. Kieran Bishop is back as a Ware player. So the Ware lineup this afternoon will have Fred Burbage in goal, the two fullbacks, Stefanos Giorgio on the right, David Sota on the left. Two centre-backs, Ekal Coker at 6'5", makes his league debut alongside Dan Rumans. Then the two holding players in midfield will be Mitch Hahn and Freddie Moncur. Gab Chaps, the 17-year-old, retains his place to play just in front of those two, and he'll be a front three of Ramaya Mills through the centre, Liam Dawson on the left and Joe Dearman on the right. Substitutes bench looks like this: Kieran Bishop, Richard Ennin, Mount Walsh, Jack Dreyer and Michael Toner. As far as Waltham Abbey are concerned, two changes for them from the team that drew 3-3 at Kidlington last week. In goal, familiar face for us, Brad Robinson, of course, who made 50 appearances for Ware. Usman Temi Toby comes in at number 2. Nathan Goranten, Elliot Sartorius, Andrew Trevanu, Kieran Kathleen, Ben Baker, Declan Ridings. Their top scorer Sam Shaban comes back after injury, Aaron Imoya and Prince Domafry, who's a player that we also know well from his time at Hertford Town. Only four players on the bench, 3 outfield players for the home side. Olu Oganowo is one, Jimmy Parker is the young goalkeeper, Ace Laurent and Rimmel Daniel, and plenty of local connections on the bench. Oganowo used to play for Hertford. Ace Laurent and Rimmel Daniel were former Ware players. Our referee is Jack Soxton, who comes from Egham in Surrey, and his two assistants are Aidan Jones and Brian Taylor. So new centre half, Kieran Bishop on the bench. Obviously we know that Darian Furlong is suspended. He's here, but this is the last of his 3-match ban, so Ware's squad expanding.
Yeah, I mean, we know Paul was looking to make some additions, and Steve King sort of made suggestions to that earlier in the week, so we was thinking that we'd see at least 1 or 2 here today, and as you say, there's 2 new additions, so let's see what sort of difference they're going to make to the squad.
Well, we're going to be having a minute's silence here. It is Remembrance Day, and to pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And so we, of course, will be going off the air for that 1 minute. At the moment, the 2 skippers are in the centre circle. Dan Rumans, skipper for Ware. And also they've got, nice to see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little mascots out here as well. sunshine in Essex, as we are. Just came across the border from Hertfordshire, and the players are gathering on the edge of the centre circle.
As we who are left grow old, age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn, but at the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
And then immaculately observed 1 minute silence as the non-league family comes together to pay tribute here at Kappa Shot. So just about get underway. We're in change strip. They're in the orange shirts and black shorts, and familiar for Waltham Abbey in the Celtic kit, really, isn't it? It's green and white hoops with black numbers, which on Saturday afternoon with the sun shining is not too bad. But it's pretty disastrous when you get an evening game in trying to work out who's where. So Waltham Abbey going to kicking from right to left. And our commentary position is just about shy of the halfway line in the back of little 4-tier stand here at Kappa Shots. Referee checks his watches, looks around, and away we go. So Waltham Abbey, who have a decent enough record here, but they've lost 4 times at home so far this season out of 9. And plenty of goals though, scored 19 and conceded 19 as well. So still unfamiliar, still strange to see Brad Robinson in the opposite goal, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right at all, does it? I mean, although he just spent that season at Ware, but obviously he left there. He went to Walthamstow with our friend Nicky Ironson, and he's ended up here. So we do wish him well, but obviously not for the next couple of hours.
As Freddie Moncur picks the ball up for Ware, lays it down that left-hand touchline. Liam Dawson can't catch up with it, and it's Adrian Trevenu, the 29-year-old. He's a former Ware player as well. He only made 5 appearances for them back in 2017-18 season. So plenty of connections between these two clubs, just separated by the Herts-Essex border. Could be a few fans are a bit late in as well, because there's been a lot of travel disruption. I got caught in it on the A10, so hopefully people will get here in time. Mitch Hahn has got to collect the ball. The other strange thing about Kappa Shots, you've not been here, is that the pitch is actually higher than the walkway around it, which is not something I've seen in too many grounds. So that's this side, and then on the other side we've got a bank where actually the walkway around is considerably higher than the pitch. So it's a bit of a unique setting, I think, as far as non-league football is concerned. Waltham Abbey got a throw in down by the corner flag. Brad Robinson clears, right-footed downfield, straight to David Sota, whose ball forward is just put out of play again once more by Trevenu. And Ware will have themselves a throw in parallel to the edge of the 18-yard area, where fans will know what to expect here, because even without Darian Furlong in the side, Mitch Hahn will take control. Joe Dearman's made a long run across from right to left, but Mitch wants to put it in the box. Sun shining, making it difficult for a goalkeeper. Throw goes in, not one of his longest, and he's easily headed out, but Dan Rumans finds him again on that far side. Mitch Hahn, though, gives the ball away, and then ricochets to Liam Dalton going all the way through. Liam there, and suddenly he just got crowded out by numbers, and the ball goes behind for a corner.
Well, a good chance there for Ware, and as you say, Liam weaving in and weaving out. But when I go back to those throw-ins, Pete, and there's not a lot of space for a run-up at all. That one that Mitch was taking just then, he had to step halfway up the bank to get a little bit of leverage on it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. As the corner comes in, there's not that much room for a corner as well. He was halfway up the bank taking that as it's cleared away on the near post. Mitch Hahn picks it up again midway inside the Waltham Abbey half. Down the line to Liam Dalton from Freddie Moncur. Ball rebounds up in the air off of the right back Osman Temetope, and Ware will have a throw in. They've made a decent start. They've been in the Waltham Abbey half for all the opening period so far in this one. Down the line, looking for Gav Chaps, does well, controls the ball, brings it back to Mitch Hahn. Mitch is put under pressure. Liam Dalton will pick it up, and once more the ball goes out for a throw into Ware, and once more it's difficult for the home side to get out of their own half at the moment, but they will finally do now, as on that far side they get themselves a throw in. So perhaps a little bit of a change wearing 11. Prince Domafry, who we know well from his time at Hertford, they weren't there that long, but made a real impact. But the other end is Ramiah Mills trying to make an impact for Ware. Mills going all the way through, and in the end it was a decent tackle that came in very late and put the ball behind for a corner. And Ware looking good going forward.
Yeah. I mean, a couple of decent chances. Plenty of space for them that they're finding so far. So these first 4 or 5 minutes are promising signs so far.
So Mitch Hahn will take the corner. Coker's up from the back, and he really is a big lad. He's going to take some marking at dead balls. The ball goes across, and it's clutched off the head of Ramiah Mills by Bradley Robinson. On the halfway line, Stephanos Giorgio returns it back, but it lands on this near side, on to the chest of Declan Ridings, but he can't control it, and it will go out for a throw-in to Ware. Just a little shy of midway inside the Waltham Abbey half. Stephanos Giorgio, who is now back fit, will take the throw in down the line. Look for Joe Dearman, couldn't find him, but they picked up by Mitch Hahn on the edge of the area. Good tackle coming in, but in the end it's all a little bit desperate, but the ball finds its way eventually forward, and Waltham Abbey a chance perhaps to make their first foray into the Ware half, but it's a good tackle by Coker. Joe Dearman goes back, got a large yelling into a heap, and Gav Chaps can't control the ball, and in the end it's Ridings on that far side who surges a good ball up to Prince Domafry. Prince puts the ball across the box, but can't keep it in play, and Fred Burbage will collect it quite comfortably. Paul Horsey on that far side with Joe O'Brien controlling their way up the technical area. Can't tell you that Bailey the dog's here as well. Don't know, Paul was waiting for the dog sitter to turn up when he said hello to us, so I trust the dog sitter is here and Bailey is in good hands, as Fred Burbage's kick lands all the way on that far side. That looked very much like a handball, but the referee's not interested, and cleared away by Usman Temitope. It looked like a handball, that.
Yeah, it did a little bit, yeah, but we'll give the ref the benefit of the doubt for now. He was a little bit closer. I did wonder, first of all, if the dog sitter hadn't turned up, if he was going to be sitting on the bench with Paul, barking his instructions. There you go.
Yeah, I think there's enough barking goes on that bench. I don't need any more. As David Sota's got the throw in for Ware inside his own half, throws it down the left-hand touchline. Not really to too much effect, but it's just volleyed out of play on that far side, and Mitch Hahn will take it. Sends Liam Dalton going down the left-hand side. Trimarvus trips over, and it's a good cross by Liam. Will break, but in the end it's cleared. Only as far as Dan Rumans, who just has to police the ball away from Shaban and give it back to Fred Burbage. But at the moment it's been a lively start by Ware, 7 minutes in, and they've been the side that have had most of the ball and most of the possession so far. They've won at Hertford, Leighton, Cirencester and Harpenden. And the one thing you can say about all Ware's 4 away wins is they were all clean sheets. So 2-0 at Hertford in the East Arts Derby, 4-0 at Harpenden and Leighton, and then 1-0 at Cirencester. Harpenden one, of course, was in the County Cup. We're going to face Hemel Hempstead next month. Gab Chaps wrestling for the ball, does well. Here's Joe Dearman on the right-hand side. Has to take it a little bit wide. Giorgio is coming up, supporting. Here's Stefanos Giorgio, going to keep it in. No, you can't. And the ball goes out for a goal kick to Waltham Abbey, but that's an area where with those two playing, they're developing a relationship, Joe Dearman and Stefanos Giorgio.
Yeah, I think they are. It's nice to see how well they're connecting. You've got Stefanos overlapping with Joe there, and they seem to be finding each other well, and it's nice to see that they've connected well together. And, it's something that's working well for them at the moment.
Waltham Abbey on this near side with Nathan Gorenteng, 31 now, started at Peterborough, puts the ball down to Shaban down the left-hand touchline. He's there with Kogarud as well, gets a foot in, puts the ball out for a throw-in. Gorenteng will take it. Played a lot of his football down the road at Cheshunt, did Nathan Gorenteng. He's Declan Ridings, but gives the ball away. Dawson can't get hold of it. It's headed out again by Coker. It's all a little bit scrappy. Till on that far side, Sartorius tries to put it down the right-hand touchline, but nobody at home. And Fred Burbage will come out and collect the ball. Next week, Waltham Abbey are away at Biggleswade. And Ware will find themselves at home against Hadley. And, you'll find out where we'll be during a half-time sequence, which you'll be glad to know does link the Muppets and Waltham Abbey. You're going to have to wait for me to tell you why. Also get mentioned my Uncle Jack, actually, who didn't live a million miles away. But far side, David Soter will take the throw-in for Paul Hall's team. 0-0 we stand here. Of course, Hertford and Welwyn Garden City are both away on their travels. Hertford, who had that great win, I hope you heard, on 90 Minutes Live last week against North Lee, are away at Kempston. As Freddie Burbage comes right out of his goal and slices the ball over the metal fence over the far side to give Waltham Abbey a throw-in. It's chested down by the number 4, Elliot Sartorius. And the ball ends up back in his own half and back at the feet of the goalkeeper, Bradley Robinson. Bradley's kick on this near side can't be kept in by Ben Baker, and will go out for a throw-in to Ware. That throw-in will be taken by Stefanos Giorgio. So Hertford, who had that excellent win, they're away at Kempston and Welwyn Garden City, who picked up a bit of form. It's been a tough start for them, but a couple of decent results, and they are away also at Leighton Town. Meanwhile, Gab Chaps picks up a free kick for Ware. I've criticised Paul Hall's team at times because that player just behind the front three, being Jack Dreyer, hasn't got involved in the game, but you certainly can't say that about Gabriel Chaps in his opening 10 minutes. No,
I mean, obviously, he had that start last week, and he's kept his place in the team today, and maybe that's what Paul's seen in it. Maybe he got involved last week, and he's kept his place for that reason.
Here comes a free kick. Brad Robinson's got it in control and just punches it out in the end to Sartorius. Long ball forward. Prince Domofrey's on his bike. We know how quick he is, and Fred Burbage has to come out and launch another one, which goes into the trees on the far side, and couldn't see it coming down, actually. Don't know whether it has. But it's got to be a hazard here at Kappa Shot. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees around about the halfway line. Sartorius picks the ball up. Ball pushed forward, but only as far as Mitch Hahn. Home side having trouble at the moment, putting passes together. Ware look the better team, but it's still 0-0 as Ramaya Mills slips over. And Waltham Abbey will come back. Quick ball forward, that's their game. Not too much in midfield. As the ball is put all the way back to Brad Robinson by Aaron Ioma, who wears 10 but plays at centre half. On this near side is Correntine down the line, looking for Baker, but Giorgio reads that, does well, but then gives it away, and in the end the ball ricochets off of a couple of Waltham Abbey players and is put out of play. Throw in by Mitch Hahn. Looking down the line is Remiah Mills, right hand side of the box. Liam Dalton's calling for it. Joe Dearman's inside the box, onto the left foot, doesn't like what he sees. Mitch Hahn finds Remiah Mills again. Mills with the right foot now goes for the far post over the head of Dalton. Freddie Monker will get it back for Ware, and now Dan Rumans will put it through for Joe Dearman. Joe Dearman on the right foot, tried the shot, gets a deflection and goes behind for a corner. Seemed he had to wait an age for that to come down, otherwise he would have got a shot home.
Yeah, he was. It was a little bit looped in the air, wasn't it, the ball, and he's waiting for that. But another good defensive tackle, and another corner for Ware, though, for them to giving themselves an opportunity to break the deadlock.
Well, it's been a bright start, but a team who started in 4th place against a team who started in 3rd. But got to get the ball in the back of the net, as Mitch Hahn will take their 3rd corner from this right hand side. Once again, big Coker's come up from the back. Remiah Mills in there as well. They've got some aerial presence, was aimed at Coker, but Waltham Abbey sorted out. Only as far as Freddie Monker, who brings in Dan Romans on that far side, and Dan Romans puts another one. They're doing well getting balls out of the ground. That's number 3, I think. So Dan Room is not the place that you want to find a big centre-half playing left wing. And I think it did look like, to be fair to him, a centre-half's cross from a left winger on that far side. The other fixtures today, by the way, this is certainly the match of the day with teams at the top of the table. Bedford away at Stockfold, North Lee at home to Tame United. A little bit of a Oxfordshire derby there. AFC Dunstable against Cirencester should be interesting. And the Hadley entertaining Kings Langley. We'll keep you up to date with what's happening with those during the half-time sequence, which will also tell you a little bit about Waltham Abbey. Here they are having a chance to go forward. But once again, they have to go back inside their own half and are forced all the way back to the goalkeeper, Bradley Robinson. Ball finds its way out on that far side of the field. Chaps' challenge doesn't get the ball, but Freddie Monker will try and keep it in on the far side, and Chaps just ricochets it off of Temed Tope, and it goes out for a throw-in to Ware. So it's 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf, our sponsors, bringing you Step 4 football throughout the season, involving Ware, Hertford and Welling Garden City. And today is as Giorgio almost oversteps the ball, today is the debut of the big coat as well, because it's a little bit autumnal. Here's Prince Timmerfry down the left-hand side of the Ware box. Cut inside. Giorgio couldn't get the challenge, but in the end just tamely tried to hit it with the right foot, where you'd have thought he could have pulled it across with the left.
Well, I mean, you'd have thought he would have, pulled it back across, and maybe he didn't see anyone coming, and he thought he could take that opportunity. But that's the first real chance that Waltham Abbey have had this afternoon.
Stephanos Giorgio will know all about his pace, of course. Which, he developed his time playing college football in the US before he came here and signed for Hertford. Few signs though, side getting their act together a little bit here as Riding's long ball on this far side, and his Dommerfry showing that pace again. He got to the ball, but it was his technique that let him down as he let it bounce off his shin and go out for a throw-in that Stephanos Giorgio will take for Paul Hawes' side. A very good record here of late, one here 1-0 last season. Liam Dawson got the goal, and won in the couple of seasons after that as well. In fact, the last time Abbey have won here against Ware, you have to go back to 2017 when they won 3-1. So it's been a fairly happy hunting ground for Ware. But having said that, Watson Park's been a fairly happy hunting ground for Waltham Abbey as well. As the ball goes over the top of Dommerfry and is controlled by Gab Chaps, and he's only 17, but the physical side of the game does not concern him at all, and he certainly started this game well. Only his second full start for the team. He's had a few appearances off the bench, and certainly one of those promising youngsters. A couple that have been involved, not involved today, but certainly knocking on the door at players like Tom Kay as well. Ball played through, looking for Shaban, but once again, Freddie Burbage is out. Ramaya Mills finds Joe Dearman, who looks. He thought he was offside, but he isn't. Pulls it across the box. Liam Dawson can't control it, and chance goes begging for Ware. Joe Dearman had that little look. I thought, well, even I think I'm offside, but the referee's assistant didn't agree. We're still inside the Waltham Abbey half. Ball's put in the box by David Sota. Headed out. Freddie Moncur reacts quickest. Plays the ball to Gabriel Chaps, but good challenge by Sartorius. And well, it's difficult to tell from this angle, but they're really haranguing the referee's assistant at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't think it was offside, but as you say, it is difficult to tell from this angle. But Joe obviously thought he was, and you could see, give that glance to the linesman, expecting to see the flag go up. But thankfully for him, it didn't. But the chance didn't come.
Mitch Howard finds Ramaya Mills. All cannons off Mills from Declan Ridings, and cannoned off his arm. And the referee gives a free kick for handball. I think Ramaya looks around the referee and says, "Well, how could I get out of the way?" And I think he got a reasonable point there. Yeah,
no, there was absolutely nothing he could do about that at all, could he? And you see, this is the thing with these handball rules, isn't it? I think half the problem is no one seems to know what the handball rule is anymore as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As play restarts, Sartorius plays the ball on that far side to Tamir Tope, the right back. Sartorius gets it back, then gives it away to Gabriel Chaps. Chaps is hemmed in a bit down the left-hand touchline, maintains possession well, brings in Freddie Moncur. Here's Liam Dawson coming centre field, looking for the overrunning Giorgio. Dearman blocks the ball in his way and puts it back to Coker. Coker's chip ball forward is not a bad effort, but Freddie Moncur applauds his new teammate, but quick clearance by Brad Robinson onto the head of Dan Rumans. It's going to be picked up and put on this near side for Nathan Gorenteng. Gorenteng gets the ball forward, but once again he's forced back into his own half, tries to get away from Joe Dearman. Ball rolled on that right hand side for the number 5 Trivanu, who brings in the right back Tamir Tope, but all a bit pedestrian from the home side at the moment. They're trying to spring the trap with the long ball forward, and they might have done it this time, but Coker does very well, because the ball came over his shoulder. It looked like Shaban might be away, but in the end he managed to stretch out one of those long legs, and he seems to have settled in nicely.
Yeah, he does. I think he's looking decent so far. He looks very comfortable, and that 6'5" height that he's got has certainly helped him out in that situation just then.
Brad Burbage, long ball forward. It's Ramaya Mills, who been causing a few problems. Haven't really picked him up. Gets the ball across the box, but wasn't really anybody to aim at by Joe Dearman in there. But he's making a use of himself again, and the ball is thumped down that touchline. And here is Coker just to play it back to his goalkeeper, Fred Burbage, who first time returns the compliment to the big number 5. Shows a neat bit of footwork to get Ware under trouble there, as Dan Romans will clear the ball towards the halfway line, off the chest of Corenteng, but Joe Dearman's got it now midway inside the Waltham Abbey half. Giorgio once again, he's come at the back. That's a lovely cross by Joe Dearman, but nobody could get on the end of it. Liam Dawson will keep it in on that far side, only needed a touch. Here's Dawson going in, balls it across. This time it's Dearman who doesn't control it well, and Waltham Abbey will get the ball away. But another real chance going begging for Paul Hall's team. But here come Waltham Abbey forward, but Mitch Hahn does the sweeping up job well and finds Stefanos Giorgio. Just hope they won't pay for missing these chances.
Yeah, no, I mean, we know, last time we saw them, didn't they? They had a couple of close balls across the box and just failed to manage to get any connection on the end there. But hopefully, as you say, it's not going to end up costing them this afternoon.
Here's Freddie Moncur inside the box, but in the end gets underneath it, and the ball goes behind for a goal kick. 21 minutes gone here. First half. Well, I've just noticed over there, wait a minute, no, 22 minutes gone. Sorry, I do agree with the big scoreboard. So unused to scoreboards at step 4. But don't have to keep looking at the watch. Don't know why I've been doing that. Waltham Abbey 0, Ware 0 on that scoreboard on the far side. But certainly Ware have been the better side. And contrast this with the last time that I saw them play away at home when they were simply awful at Biggleswade. I think poor Halsey will be very happy with the way they've started this one. The only blot on the copybook, as we've been discussing, is that they haven't scored. Far side of the field, Coker lumps it forward. Chaps is beaten to it in the air by Declan Ridings, but Ware have got it back on that far side, and it's Gabriel Chaps again who's wrestling for the ball. So Torres against Mitch Hahn wins out, and the ball on that far side to Baker, who's going to run through. Burbage has come out, and that's a great challenge by David Sota, as Ware for once looked to have been opened up, and it got him at the other end here. Here comes Joe Dearman, right hand side, but he's just eased off the ball, and Brad Robinson will come out and collect. We could really have had a goal at either end there as Waltham Abbey come forward with Nathan Correnteng. Correnteng, though, he's beaten to it, fouls Stefanos Georgiou, and well, could have had a goal at either end.
Yeah, we could have done there. I mean, Fred was caught in two minds there. He started to come out for the chance that Waltham Abbey had, and he managed to step back, and as you say, a brilliant tackle from David Sota. Then down the other end, just knocked it a little bit too far from Joe, and Brad managed to clear it. But chances for either side there so far, and as you say, Ware have had the better of the opportunities so far. But so far it's still 0-0.
Well, just little concerning moments. Stefanos Georgiou slow to get up, but didn't need the attentions of the physio Victoria, who's over there on the bench. So still looks a little bit as if he might be in pain, but hopefully he can run that off. Fred Burbage with the free kick, headed out, but it's going to fall to David Sota. Sota's ball forward though, over the head of Gab Chaps, and out comes Brad Robinson. 5 clean sheets so far for Ware this season. They've only failed to score once, and it was in that aforementioned game at Biggleswade. They do normally score as Joe Demon brings the ball away from Ridings and then gets crunched into by Correnteng. Referee not interested. And the ball threaded out on that far side. Once again, they're trying to get Baker in behind David Sota. Baker's got the ball. Sota is the defender. David Sota sticks to his job well. And Baker not getting too much there. Once again in possession with Ioma. It comes across, and in the end it bounces off a Ware defender and goes behind for a corner. First time that we really have had any concern from a dead ball situation. But see what Waltham Abbey can have for here.
Yeah, it's he's won a chance to see what they've got, see what sort of corner routines they've got, and obviously it's a chance for us to see Coker in a defensive situation with this as well.
Well, he's got almost his equal there in Andrew Trivanou, the big number 5. They are more or less height for height in there. As the ball comes all the way across the deck and is fired in, and it's put in the back of the net. Oh dear. Ball came across the box, and I think it's Kieran Gathline who's put it in. Well, what can you say about that one? It is Kieran Gathline who scored it, and wow, the first time really they've got inside that 18-yard box and they've gone in front.
Well, I mean, we're saying sort of see what sort of corner routines they've got, and that's what they've got. It's a well-worked corner. They've practiced that one before, and sadly for us, Waltham Abbey go into the lead.
26 minutes gone, and it's Waltham Abbey 1, Ware 0. And it has been a bit of a smash and grab, it must be said. Ware have had all the game, but find themselves a goal behind to that one from Kieran Gathline. Scored after 26 minutes. Hartford fans might be happy. He's a former Hartford player, of course. Long ball forward. Brad Robinson will come out and collect it. Well, statistics will tell us when Waltham Abbey score first. Well, they've still been beaten twice this season. 1-7, drawn 1 and lost 2. But Ware are yet to come from behind. They've conceded the first goal this season up until last week when they did exactly that. Conceded a goal after 7 minutes to Barton Rovers and ended up winning 3-1. So will history repeat itself? David Soto forward to Ramiah Mills. Ball breaks for Joe Dearman on the edge of the box. Dearman again is just eased off the ball by Correnteng, and Ioma will pick it up for Waltham Abbey. Let's feel a little spring in their step after that goal. There's Correnteng. Plays it once more. As his ball forward for Prince Thomas Fry coming out, but Fred Burbage read it well. Comes out and collects the ball in his bright yellow goalkeeping jersey. Bowls it out to Stefanos Georgiou. Ball forward, looking for Ramiah Mills. Flips it on, but there's no one to take advantage of that. And it lands at the feet of Bradley Robinson. Brad will pick it up, and Waltham Abbey, I tend to score more in the first half. It's their 21st first half goal of the season. They've conceded 21 in the second half, so certainly all to play for here. But it was reminiscent, I've got to say, of a couple of goals that Ware conceded at Biggleswade. That low ball across the box being put in from round about the 6-yard line. Biggleswade scored a couple of those in their 4-0 win, so it's certainly something again that they need to work on the training ground. Throw bypasses Ramiah Mills. It's Baker who puts it forward, headed forward by Dan Rumans. Further forward onto the halfway line, and tidy passage of play ends with the ball rolling down the bank on the far side for a throw in to Waltham Abbey, which Usman Temetope will put all the way back to his goalkeeper Bradley Robinson. Is Kieran Cathline, the goal scorer. Played those few games for Hertford, of course. Probably better known for his time at Potter's Bar, where he spent a while. As Correnteng picks it up on the halfway line, looks to send Prince Thomas Fry going down this left-hand side, but he was in an offside position, as the flag on the far side will demonstrate. So Fred Burbage will come out to take the free kick. Cab Chap's just given a few instructions out there. It's good to see from a 17-year-old. He's not overawed in this company at all. As Ware's young number 10. Kick by Fred Burbage goes down this near side. Cathline puts it forward. The ball back with Ioma again, and here's Shaban, and headed out from the edge of his 18-yard box by Fred Burbage, but it wouldn't have counted because there's a flag up on that far side. Not when the ball's kicked, says the man along to our right. I disagree, actually. I think he was offside, but it's going to be a free kick to Ware whenever he thinks, or I think. And Fred Burbage will take it from midway inside his own half. 15 minutes to go before the break. We're trailing by a goal to nil, having had the majority of the possession and the majority of the chances. Fred Burbage on that far side, riding his back pedals, then heads it down. Further forward by Dan Rumans, looking for Liam Dawson, but ball's going to be policed out of play, is it? No, it isn't, because the referee's given the corner. So Liam Dawson was into the back of Temitope. The referee didn't seem to be giving those, and I think you're going to have to learn that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you need to sort of, like, you know, watch the referees sometimes as to what they give and what they don't, and you learn from that. As you say, it's nothing that can be expected.
Fourth corner of the afternoon, taken short to Liam Dawson. Puts across the box, good looking cross, well cleared on that far side. Baker, though, has hit it up in the air. Dawson will bring it back to earth. Liam Dawson does well, turns away from one, can't turn away from the second, goes down, but it's only going to be a throw in, which Mitch Harm will take. And he's decided he doesn't like the trip up the bank, so he takes a short one to David Soter, back into the area, onto the head of Dan Rumans. Out comes Brad Robinson before Ramiah Mills can react. And danger goes away for the home side. So Brad Robinson, right-footed downfield, all over place in Ware Hearts, of course, for that penalty save at AFC Dunstable a couple of years ago in the playoff semi-final. As Coker puts it all the way back to Ware's current number one, Fred Burbage. Kick forward, chased by Chaps, but Correnteng will let it go out of play for a throw-in to Billy Holland's side. He's manager these days, and well, a bit of a legend here, really, isn't he? 10 seasons spent at Waltham Abbey as a player. Still finds himself on the bench occasionally. Always had a habit of scoring against our teams as well, did Billy Holland. As Coker has it deep inside his own half, chips it forward with the right foot. Kathleen just heads it up in the air, didn't get a lot of distance on it. Ridings is up with Joe Dearman. The two are wrestling for the ball. Correnteng helps his midfield colleague out. He's going sideways at the moment and has to play the ball back to the right fullback Temer Tote, and he just thumps it off of Gabriel Chaps, and another one goes out the ground. Number 4 disappears over the fence on the far side. Well, they've got someone who's getting them back, or the neighbours are getting a good deal out of this.
Well, I think they're going to need someone to go and round them all up. I mean, I don't know how many balls they've got, how many match balls they've got that they can use, but someone's going to definitely need to go and collect them, that's for sure.
Well, there's Carbunk one end, there's looks like Gardens the other end, but the side facing us looks like a whole load of scrubland. So I don't quite know my knowledge of Waltham Abbey in that respect. It's not that great. He's in other things though, as you'll find out in the half-time sequence. Away goes Ramaya Mills down the left-hand side, puts the ball inside for Dawson. Wasn't the best, allows Ridings to slide it out for a throw-in to Ware. Well, the game really hasn't changed after that goal. Waltham Abbey are 1 up, but in terms of possession and chances, Ware have been the better team, but scoreline doesn't lie. Across the box from David Soto, Joe Dearman had come narrow. Giorgio does well to come across and deflect the respective clearance by Correnteng. The ball will rebound out for a throw-in to Waltham Abbey. Brad Robinson dribbles it past Joe Dearman and chips it down the line. But I think Brad was just a little bit too enthusiastic there. He's got to make his way back in the goal, and does, as Kathleen clears the ball onto the top of the stand, as you probably heard that we're sitting in. And Ware will have a throw-in which Mitch Hahn will take. 11 minutes to go before the break. 90 minutes live with Beaton Simon Saturday afternoon. Where else would you be? In association, of course, with Easy Shelf, our sponsors, covering Step 4 football throughout the season. Giorgio down the line, bounces off the head of Correnteng. Dominic Fry's getting himself involved, but Mills wrestles it away from him. Joe Dearman brings in Freddie Moncur. On the far side, he'll bring in Liam Dawson, who has to backpedal a little bit. Got Soto going outside him, but Liam's coming and fires in a shot. Gets a block in the end. I think it was Temer Toto who got the block in, and in the end, the ball fairly harmlessly thumped on that left-hand side. Out of play in front of the big scoreboard. Maybe you have a word. I like that scoreboard. Maybe we could do with one of those.
Yeah. I think. I mean, it's nice to see a scoreboard, isn't it? It's always handy for people. Like you said earlier, some people might have been coming in late into the game.
And, Simon breaking is Waltham Abbey almost getting themselves into trouble, but Ridings got himself out of it by reacting quickly and getting the ball away from Joe Dearman. Here's Correnteng, unfamiliar position on the right hand side for the left back, looks for Shaban, but it just goes all the way through to the goalkeeper Fred Burbage. And second time this season I've had a scoreboard, but the other one was at Chelmsford, and because of the running track around the pitch and the font being so small, it was almost impossible to see without a telescope, so wasn't really the best, whereas this one is shining nicely.
Well, I mean, this is the second time for the scoreboard for me as well, because they had one at Felixstowe, and that was much bigger. It was probably about 3 times the size of that. The font was absolutely massive. You could see that from all corners of the ground. That was a really nice scoreboard. And I think it's good. I'd like to see them more at grounds, definitely.
Most certainly. As Mish Hahn picks the ball up, we'll have a word with Dave Coates at Welwyn Garden City and Ian Bush at Hertford. See what we can do as the ball goes out of play here on this near side. We can have, but where we could have it, we could have Steve King's stats flashed up, couldn't we, during the game? Yeah? So that would be a good one. Stefanos Giorgio has got the ball on this near side. I assume actually that him and Akau Coker will know each other because they're both at Enfield Town. As the ball is pushed back to Brad Robinson first time high up in the air. It's going to land on the halfway line. Stefanos Giorgio and Prince Tomafry don't get a hold of it, and Coker is wrestling and does well again. Does a good job, the number 5. Brings in Giorgio. His ball though is got too much on it and can't bring in Liam Dawson on that far side. But I've got to say, Eko Goka has impressed me greatly in that number 5 shirt so far, and bear in mind that Darian Furlong's due to come in as well. There's going to be some real competition in there as the ball is picked up by Waltham Abbey on the halfway line. Looking to release Baker on that far side. Sota's back pass wasn't too certain, but Fred Burbage could come out and collect. Met on the halfway line, but Giorgio will punt it back. Mitch Harn's through here. He's not offside, but it was a weak finish. He looked to lob it over Brad Robinson, and kick at the other end could put Ware in trouble there. Is Prince Tomafry. He's marked by Giorgio, gets the ball across the box, and it's a diving header by Dan Romans that puts the ball into the car park.
Well, another good opportunity there for Ware, wasn't it? Mitch finding himself free, and I think the ball just bounced a little bit awkwardly for him to get the sort of shot that he'd wanted against Brad. But and again, breaks down this other end for a chance for Prince and Waltham Abbey. But another good clearance from Dan.
2 forward for Ware with this corner kick comes with 7 minutes to go in the first half here at Cabot Shots. They're trailing by a goal to nil. It's taken short to Baker on the edge of the area. Time to turn and put it across. Ramiah Mills got the faintest of touches on it, and I think that just put Kieran Gathline off because he was on the edge of the 6-yard box, fancying his chance of a double there. But Ramiah Mills got a touch, and in the end Gathline put it behind for a goal kick to Ware, which will be taken by Fred Burbage. It starts to get just a little bit dull here. It's been a decent enough day as far as sunshine's concerned, not as far as temperature's concerned. I think the big coat will now stay out of the wardrobe for a while, as on the far side Liam Dawson tries to pick the ball up. And again, if the weather forecast anything to go by, it'll be a sou'wester for about the next 10 days, as Fred Burbage gets it on the edge of the 18-yard area. Clears long kick downfield and headed out and finds Declan Ridings. Ridings will get the ball back, brings in Corrington. Maybe just picking up a bit of space coming forward, particularly on this left-hand side where Corrington's continued the run, gets the ball across the box, and Shaban can't put it in the back of the net. Top scorer, 10 goals this season. You'd expect him perhaps to take that kind of opportunity, but having said that, Dan Ruman stuck to him well. Yeah, he has done, and as you say, it does seem to be targeting this right-hand side from Ware, and they are finding a couple of opportunities, so that's perhaps something for Paul to keep in mind. In a few minutes when it's half time. Yeah, certainly haven't got much change down the right-hand side with David Sota there, but Giorgio's had his hands full a little bit as Gorenteng miss kicks, and the ball goes out for a throw in to Ware, which Stefanos Giorgio will take midway inside the Waltham Abbey half. A bit of movement, not getting much, get some from Chaps now, but he gives the ball away to Baker, who fancied a run against David Sota. Sota's keeping pace with him. Liam Dawson's come back to double team the number 7, but the ball's put in for Sartorius on the edge of the area, tries the shot, comes back off Dawson. Sartorius still there, being pushed down by the corner flag, gets it back to Ridings, puts the ball across, but Ware will clear now with David Sota, who looks to release Ramiah Mills, but Brad Robinson will have that one in control, and trying to play Waltham Abbey at their own game a little bit by going route one on occasions. Not necessarily the game that they're used to playing, but hasn't really come off for them so far. It's on the far side. David Sota will collect the ball, and the big scoreboard tells us it's just about to click over to 3 minutes to go before the break. Plus time added on, of which there'll be precious little on it, because we've had one goal. We've had no cards. It's been played in good spirit. was an Essex-Hertfordshire derby. And far side of the field, David Soter will again have a throw-in for Ware. Paul Halsey's thoughts at half-time will be interesting inside that dressing room. Don't think he'll be too upset with the performance, but he will be upset that they're a goal behind. As Freddie Moncur picks it up in midfield, looks for Joe Dearman. Gorenteng's in the way, but Moncur, he almost picked his pocket. Gorenteng does well. Ioma coming forward, the number 10. He's finding increasing amounts of space, threads it through looking for Shaban, but once again Dan Romans is there with him, and the ball goes out of play for a goal kick. But the number 10, Ioma, he's just picking up a little bit of space now, isn't he?
Yeah, that's the problem for Ware that they're finding. He's getting that space, he's getting the ball, finding little runs to to go into and spray off and that. And I think it's something that Ware do need to keep an eye on for sure.
Well, certainly I don't remember mentioning his name much in the opening 15 minutes, but certainly been in the game now. Here he is again, battling on the halfway line with Mitch Hahn. Shaban heads it back in the air, but Mitch does well and puts it all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Fred's long ball down that left-hand side. Chaps can't get there, but the ball will break to Kathleen, just a high, hopeful one towards the halfway line onto the head of Dan Rumans. A little bit of aerial tennis results in the ball going out for a throw in the Ware on the halfway line, which their number 3, David Soter, will take. Keep you up to date with what's happening with the Hertford away at Kempston and Welwyn Garden City away at Leighton Town, and the rest of the action in Southern League Division 1 Central at a half-time. We're coming forward, looking to level things by a half-time, but Ryan Mills he was beaten first time by the ball, and in the end it was decent strength shown by Tema Tope to get it into the Ware half, where it finds Coker. Coker puts it all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Certainly Ekal Coker can be pleased with his first 45 minutes in a Ware shirt. Looks to be a good acquisition. Far side, the ball headed up in the air. Freddie Moncur will just about get there ahead of Ridings, and down the line by Mitch Hahn was... Mitch gets the ball again. Gab Chaps shields it, then ricochets, and Dan Rumans, almost finds Baker on this side, and they do now. Baker's away, he looked offside to me. Dom Fry's in the box. Ware could be in trouble, and they are, because Ben Baker has doubled Waltham Abbey's advantage. Hit and run. Coker's looking at the referee's assistant on the far side. I think my eyes were that way as well, but Ben Baker has put it in the net.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was definitely offside, Pete. How he's not spotted that, I really don't know, and that's an absolutely terrible decision. Well, I have no words, Pete. I have no words. I don't know what the linesman has seen there. Paul's saying to the linesman as well. Paul's giving his chucking his 2 pen at him, but poor decision.
Coker's still debating it with the referee. I must admit, Baker looked a long way behind that Ware back line. Dan Rumans is having a word now as well. Well, football's a funny old game, isn't it? You can have all the possession, you can have all the chances, but you can still go in at half-time 2-0 behind, because that's the story as far as Ware are concerned. Maybe that goal will just gee them up even more to want to get back into to this one, as the ball at the feet of Brad Robinson, who just decides to thump it forward. It comes off Shaban's back, and Dan Rumans just clears his lines midway inside the Waltham Abbey half. Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, what's Paul going to say? Because I think it's been a reasonable performance.
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, you sort of said beforehand. He's going to be saying at half time. Yeah, he's happy with the way they've performed. They created chances. It was just that one little slip, or originally it was that one little slip from the Waltham Abbey corner. But that decision isn't going to do his mood any good either at all, is it?
Most definitely. I think Billy Hollins might, he probably won't say to his team, but he might feel we've got a jungle a bit here, as Gab Chaps on this far side looks to feed Joe Dearman, but went too far, and in the end Gorenteng lets it bounce over his head, and go behind. 2 minutes have been added on. That's good from a scoreboard as well, because a lot of them stick at 45 and you'll have to guess how long has gone at the end of a half. So well done to the Waltham Abbey scoreboard, which shows 47 minutes and 25 seconds for this half. And the referee, I think, is probably about to blow his whistle and bring it to a close. Frustrating half for Ware, without a doubt, and indeed it is. All the possession, most of the chances, but they find themselves behind the goals from Kieran Kathleen and Ben Baker. It's Waltham Abbey 2, Ware 0.
Well, I mean, Ware are unfortunate to be going in 2-0 down at half time. We'll have a look back on that on that video in a second. But as you say, it's something that I think without that second goal, Paul would have been happy. And you've still got the Ware players going up to the referee and asking them. Looks like Paul's going to approach him as well. And before we do that, Pete, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the video for you. So let's see what we've got here.
Yeah, you can see whether our referee, Mr. Oxenham, will be red fonted on the old spreadsheet. Let's just zapping through it here and see if we can see the ball is played forward where he is, and I think that's fairly convincing.
Look, I mean,
that's 10 yards, isn't it? Well, that's a good 6 or 7.
Yeah. How he has not spotted that? That is an absolutely disgraceful decision.
It's got to be said. That is a very poor decision, but it's going to count. And Ware will go in 2 goals behind here. That's a fast freezing couple of shots. Temperature going down here. Tell you what, won't be down in the Ware dressing room at half time. Okay, welcome to the half-time sequence here on 90 Minutes Live, sponsored by Easy Shelf, where we tell you a little bit about where we are today, which is Waltham Abbey. Not too far, a little trip down the A10, although it was far from pleasant with all the traffic and to-do that was happening around about the Cheshunt area. Hopefully that will clear out for the way home. So Waltham Abbey was named due to its abbey, which that's probably not surprising. It was the last one in England to be dissolved by Henry VIII, and it was all to do with Tovey the Proud. What a great name that is. Imagine down the back of a football shirt, coming on, number 14, Tovey the Proud. That would have been good, although he didn't have football in the 10th century, so not much good for him. At that time, he dug up a life-size cross at one of his estates in Somerset, and he had a hunting lodge here at what was then called Waltham. Decided to bring the cross all the way, build a church around it, and the cross eventually became Waltham Abbey and eventually gave the place its name. So it was all down to Tovey the Proud. Now just down the road from here is High Beach, and in 1926 behind the King's Oak pub was where they held Britain's first motorcycle speedway meeting. And Speedway fans of sports, people that listen regularly and know me will know that I have had a lot of involvement with. Come still down to High Beach to have a look at the pub and where Speedway started. Going back to the 17th century, and a gunpowder factory was opened in the town. It was sold to the government in 1787 and became the Royal Gunpowder Mills. The factory itself closed in the 1940s, but there is still in one of the buildings a museum now which you can attend. I've never been actually, somewhere is on the list to want to go, and it brings me nicely to a little mention of my dear old Uncle Jack, who's no longer with us, but used to live in Enfield Lock, just down by the lock, by the water, and used to work in the Royal Gunpowder Mills at Waltham Abbey. So there you go. I managed to get Uncle Jack into the commentary. Waltham Abbey is also the home of the Essex Arrows baseball team, and the town is situated right slap bang on the Greenwich Meridian, and there is evidently something on the pavement. You can see the east on one side, west on the other side, and a line going down the middle. So that's some facts about Waltham Abbey, as we have yet another look at the offside decision. That this is 90 Minutes Live VAR, but we do not need to draw a line, believe me, to tell that Ben Baker was offside. and quite a long way so as well. And I suppose the other thing which comes to mind there is he's near both dugouts, so very close together. So Boyle Halsey would have had an excellent view.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just trying to sort of like freeze frame it just to get a little picture. But it's absolutely clear. Even from doing this video on my phone, it's absolutely clear that he's offside.
Well, it's going to stand anyway, no matter what we say. And I tell you, let's cheer us out. Let's cheer us up with a connection between Waltham Abbey and the Marvellous Muppets. Those that have heard 90 Minutes live before this season will know that because of... So I can't even remember when this started, but when it did start, I was set the challenge then of getting a connection between the Muppet Show and all the opponents that we have on 90 Minutes live throughout the season. So we've done relatively well. Found one for North Lee last week, and I found a real cracker for Waltham Abbey, because this connection between Waltham Abbey and the Muppets not only includes the Muppet Show, it also includes Joey Essex and Brian Mash. So that's pretty good, because we go back to the year of 2012 when Joey Essex from Towie, the only way is Essex, served food from Tony's Pie and Mash stall in Waltham Abbey Market. Now, after it appeared on Towie, which it did, later in that same year, Joey appeared with Kermit and Miss Piggy at the premiere of the Muppet movie. So Joey moved from serving pie and mash in Waltham Abbey to standing next to Kermit and Miss Piggy on the red carpet.
Splendid. Another good one, Pete. So I mean, do you want to tell people where the Muppet link might be coming from next week?
No, let's make people wait.
That's it. That's fine. We'll go through the half-time scores in the Southern League Division 1 Central. So between AFC Dunstable and Cirencester Town, AFC Dunstable are 1-0 up. It's 1-1 between Aylesbury United and Kidlington. And Barton Rovers, they're being visited by Biggleswade Town, and it is Biggleswade that are 1-0 up there. It's 1-1 between Hadley and Kings Langley, and also it's also 1-1 in the game involving Hertford and Welwyn Garden City. The Hertford are at Kempston Rovers, and Wilson Burnell with the Hertford Town goal. And Welwyn Garden City, they are at Leighton Town. As I say, that is also 1-0. Darnell Winter with the goal for the citizens there. North Lee, after their defeat to Hertford last week, they are 2-0 up over Tame United. And Bedford Town are visiting Stotfold, and they are 1-0 up on them.
Well, that doesn't change much at the top then for the top three, because they're all winning and might stretch themselves out a little bit over the other teams. Cirencester, who were fifth, Ware fourth, of course, are both down at half time, and maybe leapfrogged by AFC Dunstable, may possibly be leapfrogged by Hertford if they can get a winner at Kempston. So we'll keep you in touch with what's going there once we reach full time here. Good for Darnell Winter, by the way, as well. He's had a real goal drought for Welwyn Garden City, having started out like a train, getting the goal. And Wilson Burnell, well, he's having a great season, isn't he, for Hertford Town. Talking of great seasons in front of goal, let's have a look at the 90 Minutes live in association with Easy Shelf Golden Boot, which is really interesting at the top. Jamie Marshall from Hertford Heath has got 17. Eben Mabona of Hatfield Town now has got 16. And Kanmani Collington of Hatfield Town has got 14. So 30 goals between those two for Hatfield Town. But still Jamie Marshall who leads the way. Louis Debenham is hot on the heels of Westmeath. He's got 11. Liam Dolson, who we're seeing here today from Ware, has got 10, alongside Kendall Giamphy and Charlie Yearwood, both of AFC Welwyn. So Hertford Heath, by the way, are away at Cupley Seniors this afternoon, and Hatfield Town are in the Hart Centennial Trophy playing Oracle Components. Hertford Heath, by the way, I've got a game on Tuesday night as well in the Centenary Trophy where they entertain the Hoddesdon, who are not having a good season. So that could be a very interesting one indeed. Another game just down the road from Waltham Park, St Margaret's are at home in Third London Division 1 South against Tower Hamlets. So that's the other teams in our area and what's happening to them. And tomorrow, talking of what's happening tomorrow, is a massive day for ladies football in Hertford.
It is, Pete, it is. I mean, I'll bring you up to date with the Golden Boot. It's not changed since last week. So it's Laura Cousins from Sherardswood on 11, Claire Cranfield also Sherardswood on 8. You've got two very Rangers players, Katie Deeprose and Jessica Duff, next on 7. And Paige Pryor from St Margaret's and Christina O'Connell from Watson Park on 6. But yes, I mean, you know, Hertford Town women at the Smile IT Stadium tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff. It did originally say it was going to be a 1 o'clock kickoff, but it's a 2 o'clock kickoff in the first round proper of the Women's FA Cup, and they are playing Haringey Borough from the Premier Division. So it's a team from a high level. They'll be looking to make their way to the next round, and entrance is free for all season ticket holders. And if you've got a son or a daughter playing for the youth team, they're wearing their Hertford Town shirt. Each child will allow one adult to get in for free as well. So if you want to watch some good local football, go down and support Hertford Town women. I'm sure they'll appreciate your support. I have managed to switch my shift. Well, I say switch my shift. I'm normally doing a late shift tomorrow, Pete. I'm doing an early shift with the potential of not doing the late shift, but I might be needed for the late. So hopefully I might finish work about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and I can get down there to at least see some of the game. That's the idea, as long as I'm not needed in the evening.
Fingers crossed, and good luck to the ladies tomorrow in the FA Cup. So where are we going to be next week, and where have I got to find a link with the Muppets, and where I know I know where we're going to be, but I know who the opponents are as well, and I'm already beginning to think it's going to be a tough one, I think.
It could be, yes. I don't think it's one of the easier places to find a link. But I mean, I didn't think North Lee would be easy either, did you? So it's you managed that one. So I'm sure you'll manage to come up with one for this particular team.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? Welling Garden City against Barton Rovers. We will be there next Saturday at 3 o'clock, and it's always a pleasure to go to all three of our teams. But Mark Weatherston's team have picked up just a little bit of form, and they had that brilliant win against North Lee in the last minute as well. And we know Mark's been trying to get the squad together he wants, and today 1-1 at Leighton Town is a decent half for them as well. So we'll look forward to that, and hopefully see the citizens rise up the table.
Yeah, looking forward to a visit to there. Always nice to see everyone there involved in the club. And I know we'll turn up, and I'm sure Phil or Dave will offer us a cup of tea and a biscuit as they do. So very much looking forward to another visit to Pexhurst.
So that's this time next week, Pexhurst Stadium, 90 minutes live, Welling Garden City against Barton Rovers. We'll let you know next week where we'll be the week after, and it's getting close to all that festive stuff, isn't it? Seen all the ads on the TV already, and glad to see that the BA here hasn't leapt into the Let's Play Sladen Wizard, so you hear it for 300 times over the month of December.
Well, don't. I mean, the last couple of days I've been working, I've been stuck in the store, and all you hear is Christmas music over the tannoy there, and it does grate me sometimes with how much of it you have to listen to.
Well, Subwatch over there tells me that there's, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. Am I right in thinking there's only 4 Ware subs out there?
It certainly looks like there's only
Richard
4 there,
Denny,
yes.
Matt Walsh, Michael Toner. Who's under the hat there? I'm trying to see who's missing, because the 5 subs, Michael Tony, John Richard, and Kieran Bishop. I don't think Kieran Bishop's there.
No, I mean that looks like Jack Dreyer, doesn't it?
Looks like Jack's under the hat. So Jack in the hat as the teams come out for the second half. We'll let you know if there have been any changes. We'll need to push it a little bit, of course. 2-0 up. Our home side, Waltham Abbey here, started third in the table. They'll go on to 24 points if they win this one. They'll give them a 4-point gap over Ware. Ware, though, have a game in hand and will continue to do so. And I think probably that was the fact that he was in the dressing room to keep warm, because it would show that Kieran Bishop, who's back at Ware, looking to make his I think it'll be his third debut, but Steve King will, I'm sure, inform me in the fullness of time so we can get it right next time we see them play. But it's going to be an unchanged lineup, so let's take you through that Ware lineup before we restart here for the second half. Fred Burbage in goal. Stefanos Giorgio is the right back. David Sota is the left back. Dan Rumans, the skipper, is joined in the centre of defence by Echo Goga making his debut. Mitch Hahn and Freddie Moncur are the holding players in midfield. Gab Chaps is playing just in front of those, and just behind a 3-man front line of Joe Dearman on the right, Liam Dawson on the left, and Ramaya Mills through the centre. As far as Waltham Abbey are concerned, they've got Brad Robinson in goal. The 2 fullbacks, Usman Temitope and Nathan Corenteng. The centre-backs are Andrew Trevanu and Kieran Cataline. And they've got Elliot Sartorius, Declan Ridings in midfield, with Aaron Iomya playing just in front of them, and a front 3 of Sam Shaban, Prince Domafry and Ben Baker. So that's our 2 lineups for you. I've got the floodlight on the clipboard here because it's starting to get just a little bit gloomy out there. It's been gloomy for Ware as far as the scoreline is concerned. Let's see what they can do in the second half here as we get underway with them kicking from right to left in their chain strip of orange shirts and black shorts, and the ball immediately goes out of play on that far side over the head of Joe Dearman. Always interesting to look at the first couple of minutes of the second half, see if anything's changed in terms of the pattern where the players are taking out their positions. It doesn't seem so at the moment, but here's Prince Domafry going down the left-hand side. Let's keep the ball in and allows Coker to get back on terms with him. Ioma, though, finds Prince Domafry at edge of the area this time. There is a flag that goes up for offside, and it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? That looked quite tight from here.
Yeah.
But the second goal was anything but.
Yeah, no, that's it. How tight it is, obviously we can't see from this angle, but it is difficult to tell in some situations. But that one before, obviously it was right in front of us as well, and it was, that was one of the poor decisions I think we've seen this season.
Ball headed forward on that far side. Gab Chaps will bring it down, but in the end it's just punted out of play by Trevanu. Ware have got a throw in, and certainly the long throws, as Simon quite rightly pointed out in the first half, are a real problem here because you just don't have the run up. So Ware's one of Ware's major things is certainly been shot fired in by Dan Romans, but has been cancelled out really, not by Waltham Abbey as a team, but by the ground that they're playing.
Yeah, obviously it's affected Ware, and it's to their detriment, but obviously it's the same for Waltham Abbey as well. So they're going to suffer from that sort of thing as well.
I just noticed that banner behind the goal. It's got Waltham Abbey FC, never going to give you up. I mean, whether Rick Hassel is a fan from a long distance, but they're coming forward here with Declan Ridings, who played a lot of his football at Trafford FC in Manchester when he was at University of Manchester. Still in possession on the far side with Corentang. Freddie Moncur will get a foot in, but on this near side, ball searches out Baker, who looks to go round David Sota, and relies on Dan Romans to slide in and thump the ball out for a throw-in to Waltham Abbey. I think Wailaw was behind this stand, but I think it's more scrubland, so it's another ball that's disappeared from sight and out of the ground as Waltham Abbey prepare to take the throw-in on this near side of the field. Ware at 2 down, only come from behind once to win a game this season. They've come behind twice to draw. As the ball comes across that box and is headed out by Dan Romans, controlled by Ridings, but nothing comes of it for Waltham Abbey. But the ball will go back to Kieran Cadline on the halfway line. Ball put forwards, and once again it's that number 10, Ioma, who's finding a little bit of space, and Ware just not picking him up. His ball is a poor one though, and Giorgio will come streaking forward across the halfway line, right hand side. He brings in Ramiah Mills. Mills is there with Kathleen, and just prods it out of play. Where with the throw in is Mills going to take it. Mills will take it all the way back to Mitch Hahn. Wasn't the best of throws because Ware have ended up back in their own half with Coker. Plays it to Dan Romans. Coker will get the ball back, all the way back to Fred Burbidge. Scoreboard looks brighter as the evening skies start to descend. Gab Chaps heads it on to Ramiah Mills, right hand side of the box. Ball is put out by Correntine for another corner for Ware to be taken on that far side. Mitch Hahn will take the corner. Again, the way that bank goes, it's difficult to get a run up to take a corner as well. I think he's probably got more room there than he has at the other end, but we'll see what Mitch can do here. Only Baker forward for Waltham Abbey as Mitch thumps it across, and it's easily cleared, but as far as Freddie Moncur, who wasn't quite forward enough to try a shot, and in the end just lobs it over Mitch Hahn on the far side, and it goes out tamely enough for a throw in. I think that's Kieran Bishop who's warming up down by the corner flag on the far side. The Wales substitutes Kieran Bishop, Richard Ennin, Matt Walsh, Jack Dreyer and Michael Toner. It's going to say apart from Michael Toner, all four would be attacking options for Paul Halsey, so it's certainly an attack-laden bench. Michael Toner, who made his Ware debut last week against Barton Rovers at the grand old age of 38. That's still certainly worth a performance at this particular level. As the throw goes all the way back to Brad Robinson. Brad looks up, takes his time and just puts it to this right-hand side to Andrew Trevano. Trevano's ball almost put Ridings in trouble, but he finds Baker on this near side, who nips the ball in time for Sartorius. Sartorius there with Freddie Moncur. Freddie doesn't get the ball. It's Sartorius still going, puts it across the box, but in the end Dan Romans blocks it, and it goes behind to the arms of Fred Burbidge. Fans behind the goal were claiming a back pass there, but didn't look anything like it at all. 6 minutes gone, second half, 90 minutes live in association with Easy Shelf. Hertford and Welling Garden City were level at half time. Ware are trailing by 2-0 despite having the better of the first half here at Kappa Shots. Looking at their first defeat here in 6 years, having done well on this ground previously, as the ball goes out for another corner off the foot of the number 7 Ben Baker, whose 8th goal of the season from an extremely suspicious looking offside position. Put Waltham Abbey 2-0 up just before the break. Mitch Hahn will take the corner on this near side with the right foot to the edge of the area, looking for Liam Dawson. Oh, he miscontrols, and Waltham Abbey may come back now. We know how quickly they break. Here goes Baker again. Fred Burbidge is out a long way and does well. Plays it forward to Liam Dawson, who's not offside from one end to the other, but a good tackle coming in from Declan Ridings puts the ball out for a throw in to Ware. Almost basketball territory there. We'll have a go, you have a go. And throw in taken. Finds Mitch Hahn, who has to turn backwards and go backwards for David Sota, still inside the Waltham Abbey half. Chips the ball across to the far post. Gab Chaps comes up with a header, but can't get any direction on it. Brad Robinson goes down and clutches the ball to his chest, and then restarts the game by bowling it out to Kieran Kathleen, who started things off after 26 minutes. His ridings, they're looking for Baker an all time over here, and this time there's once more the referee's assistant puts his flag up. A few ironic cheers I think I heard there from some Ware followers, and I don't know why Ben Baker's having a word with the referee's assistant, because he really got away with one in the first half. He shouldn't push his luck, I think.
I think he was just asking him how much. He seemed to be sort of like, saying, well, was it just a couple of inches or something? So he gave him a thumbs up afterwards. So I don't think he was too aggrieved.
Well, if you went to measure the one in the first half with his arms and you'd caught it in the River Lee, then everybody would be wanting to take a picture of it, because it was a fair old distance. Throwing to Waltham Abbey, down by the corner flag, where needs something to get themselves back into this, trailing by 2-0. As David Sota is beaten to the ball. It's driven forward by Sartorius, but all the way to Coker. Chips the ball forward to Ramaya Mills, brings it down neatly, but is then robbed of the ball, and Waltham Abbey will come back in the opposite direction. Here goes Ben Baker again. This side of David Sota, puts the ball across the area. Oh no, Coker's missed it, and in the end Shaban couldn't do anything with it, and Ware really do get out of jail free there, as Stefanos Georgiou comes sprinting down the left-hand touchline, tries to nip the ball inside Declan Ridings, but can't do so, and that could so easily have been 3-0.
Yeah. I mean, you just put your house on him to score that one, wouldn't you? He's just got tangled up in his footing, I think, and he's tried to put it into the back of the net, but it just didn't happen for him.
Well, David Sota, who's been so reliable this season, is having a real problem with Ben Baker down this side. No doubt about that. As Baker picks the ball up again, tries to send Sartorius down the line, but Dan Roman's there very quickly, but I think Dan got the final touch, and Waltham Abbey will get themselves a corner with 10 minutes of the second half gone here at Kappa Shots. Waltham Abbey 2, Ware 0. Abbey looking for their 5th home win of the season so far. And a couple of biggies here, a couple of big defeats as well. That's 5-1 in the FA Cup, as the ball is put across the box. Volley comes in. That's a super save by Fred Burbidge. Well, I think it was Kieran Kathleen who hit it, and it came through a crowd of players, and that was an excellent save by Fred. Yeah, it was a fantastic save, wasn't it? And I don't know what's happened here, but referees called the physio on straight away, and Fred looks like he might be hurt. He's not moving there at all. Well, Victoria has come off the bench, and hopefully we'll be able to provide the magic treatment, because Fred's a big fella, as we know. He's gone down and certainly felt that. Players are going over for an impromptu liquid break and coaching session. But good news is Fred's sitting up, and I think he's going to be okay to continue. I tell you what, I wonder what's got in those bottles. I'll tell you, if it's me now, I'd fancy a hot bovril. I mean, it works quickly, doesn't it? Whatever she's got in there, it's certainly had an effect. So, thankfully, Fred's standing up. He's feeling okay, and just waiting to get the game back underway. Yeah, well done, Victoria. She's done the job, and players now coming away from the benches, and Fred will restart us. That's going to add a minute and a half, couple of minutes at the end of this one. But you do get the feeling sooner rather than later we need to get back into this one. They've lost 4 times away from home this season. This would be number 5, and probably on balance of play and the performance, it would be the most disappointing. So we talked about the Biggleswade game, sorry Ware fans, but that was one where they were well beaten and everything was all over. At Chelmsford they lost, of course, but to a team from National South, having pushed them really hard, so no disgrace in that. But they'll be very frustrated at being 2-0 down here. Is Georgiou far side of the field. Joe Demon's a little further up the touchline, but Corenteng sticks to things and puts the ball out of play for a throw-in to Ware. There's Freddie Moncur for Giorgio, but Ware hemmed in once more by Prince Domifry this time. Ware get the throw-in. Abbey fans on the far side not impressed. Well, we haven't been impressed with the referee either, as they will get the ball back though, and Prince Domifry just kind of lost his footing a little bit and allowed Freddie Moncur to get it back to Fred Burbage. Fred just bowls the ball out and then thumps it left-footed downfield, looking for the on-running Joe Dearman, who's not had too much possession so far in the second half. Had a couple of good opportunities in the first, which Ware spurned. We did worry that they'd be made to pay for it. They were, as Prince Domifry's on his bike on that left-hand side. He's got inside Stefanos. Giorgio pulls the ball back. Baker will leave it. Ayoma seems to be taking an age, and in the end Ware get it clear. He should have hit it first time and they could have been in trouble. But once again Ware get out of trouble, and they've ridden there well. As Waltham Abbey rode their luck in the first half, Ware were riding theirs in the second.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how he's taken, why he's taken so much time to try and get that shot away, I don't know. He should have hit it much sooner, and that could have ended up back in the net. But that's a few chances that Waltham Abbey have had there in the second half, and Ware are certainly lucky to still be 2-0 down, I think.
As Coker volleys it forward for Freddie Moncur, plays it too far ahead of Joe Dearman, and the ball thumped to the other end, and Fred Burbage will collect it. There was Ware substitute warming up, nothing doing now. Waltham Abbey actually have got one warming up. I think it's Ace Laurent on that far side, former Ware player, as the ball is chipped forwards into the centre circle once again, and the ball played out to Prince Domifry. Domifry fires in the shot, and another good save by Fred Burbage. Don't know where it was going in, but he had to be sure and push it behind for a corner. So corners be taken far side of the field. Waltham Abbey are threatening to put this game beyond Ware. Third goal would do that without a shadow of a doubt. They've got a corner here. Where have got two forward, Liam Dalston and Joe Dearman. And two arms up in the air by Prince Domifry. The corner taker, low ball, and nobody had once again picked up the number 10. Ayoma, who fires a shot in, and Fred Burbage just pushes it behind. But why had nobody picked him up?
I don't know. I mean, they like these short corners, don't they? And obviously, I think it's something to do with the fact that there's not so much space around the pitch to get that cross in. But as I say, that looks like they're going to take a longer one. No,
another one to Ben Baker. Domifry's cross, that's the highest one so far. They're queuing up the far post. Dan Rumens gets there first. Up goes Ramaya Mills. Shot comes in, and it's blocked in the end. I think Stefanos Giorgio got in the way. Certainly, Fred Burbage was flying across. Didn't have to make the save. Dan Rumens has got himself involved here with a barge which has put... is that Shaban who's gone into... No, there isn't Shaban because he's standing up. I see who the player is down there.
No, I can't make out who it is. And I mean, the linesman didn't, wave his flag to suggest anything, there. But it's... No, I still can't see.
Well, while that's going on, Gab Chaps is going to make way for the return in a Ware shirt of Kieran Bishop. So Kieran Bishop will come on very much front two, you would think, with him playing alongside Ramaya Mills, but we will see. Kieran Bishop, a renowned goal scorer, good one to have, and a player that was down, he's now back up again, and thank you, Simon. It was Andrew Trevano who was down, but okay. Referee's not shown a card as far as I can tell.
No, no card or no free kick. It's a Ware throw. So
well, let's see what that's done to Ware's lineup. Could almost be a 4-2-4 here, But we will see, as Ramon Mills has come short. But Waltham Abbey have got the ball, but it's given away to Mitch Hahn, who then gives the ball away as well over the touchline for a throw-in to the home side. No doubt Kieran Bishop's gone through the centre. He's a big fella, physical strength, knows where the goal is. So it's very much a front two with him and Ramaya Mills. And with Liam Dawson on this near side. It's the ball forward by Dan Rumans. Declan Ridings will pick it up with the left boot once more. Ioma gets the ball, but this time Giorgio is in the way and reads the pass to Prince Domafright. That one's on all the time though for the home side. Kathleen chests it down, moves inside the centre circle, looks for Baker on this near side. Another one where in trouble is Ben Baker, puts the ball across the box. Shaban Baker, no flag up, surely. Wow, it's 3-0.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure about that one, but as you say, Ben Baker's been great down that side for Waltham Abbey. We'll have to have a look at the flag situation, at the end of the game. But unfortunately, now it's 3 goals behind for Ware.
Yeah, I think that certainly put this one to bed as far as Waltham Abbey are concerned. Ware have had no answer to the pace down the flanks. Referee once again, Dan Rumans is debating the issue with our referee, Mr. Oxendale.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch is talking to the linesman, Paul's shouting over the referee as well. So when decisions like that go against you, you just feel that it's not going to be your day, and B that it's. I guess in situations like that, you just think, what's the point?
Yeah, I did. It kind of wonders, like the Newcastle goal against Arsenal, where the goalkeeper was out of position, and there was actually only one defender between the goal scorer and the line, and that tends to fool people a little bit, because I always expect the goalkeeper to be there. And when I saw that ball come across, I think that was the same sort of situation, and Baker was actually there, but he only had Dan Rumans in front of him because Fred Burbage was further forward. But we will see. Well, it's going to be some comeback if they can come back from here, but it's got to be said, Ware don't look like it in the second half. They were effective, had the better of the game in the first and the better of the chances, but haven't really created too much to worry Brad Robinson in this second half. They've got Kieran Bishop there, but they're going to have to push forward, and against this Abbey team that's got so much pace on the flanks, could find themselves in trouble as Giorgio tries to retrieve the ball on the far side, and it bounces to the feet of Joe Dearman. He's still got work to do, and puts it out on this near side, but Ben Baker, the man of the moment, will put the ball back onto the halfway line, and it will go all the way back to Brad Robinson from Usman Tematope. Ball on the far side, finds Kieran Kathleen down the line once again. Prince Domafright running outside. Giorgio just gets a tackle in. Waltham Abbey will get a corner. One thing Ware don't want is for this to get out of hand like the visit to Bedford did. 3-0 down. Well, maybe they can take that. There's controversy about two of the goals, poor defending about the first one. But with 66 minutes gone, temperatures dropping, and as far as we're concerned, they're dropping out of the top 5, you would think, as well. Corner to be taken far side of the field for Waltham Abbey. They've had all the second period, as well had the majority of the first, headed by Dan Rumans. Will create another corner on that far side that Prince Domafright will take his time to take. 3 Waltham Abbey substitutes warming up. There are only 3 outfield players. Jimmy Barker's the other one. He's the young 19-year-old goalkeeper, only made one appearance so far this season. Corners coming from the Prince on that far side. Goes to the far post, good one as well, but Fred Burbage does well. Collects it inside his 6-yard box on the hurry up. Out on this near side for Liam Dawson, who's beaten to it. Liam's not really played much of a part in this second half. Where get the ball forward? He could now, though. Liam Dawson on this left-hand side. He's being hurried, wrestled and pulled to the ground in the end by Temitope. And Ware will have themselves a free kick, parallel, just shy of parallel to the edge of the 18-yard box. Opportunity here to get a foothold back in this game, and they certainly need it. Mitch Hahn will take the kick. He's got some aerial power to aim at. Kieran Bishop offers another option as far as that's concerned in the box as well. They're all lining up on the edge of the area. Let's see what Mitch can do and provide the ball across, and it's, well, in the end it was such a poor kick. Nobody had read it, but Brad Robinson was very late on it, and in the end just managed to get the ball. But in the end also he's cleared the ball nicely to Ben Baker, and we know what you can expect here down this side. Baker against David Sota again. This time Sota is on level terms, but Baker can turn it inside. But the ball is cannoned by Dan Rumans, but still going to be in play. Baker will put it across the box, headed out by Rumans again from the edge of the 6-yard box, and Ware should get it clear here, but they don't. And going through is Corenting, and puts the ball just wide of the target. In fact, it was Brent Stommerfry who puts it just wide, and once again they all stood and looked at each other.
Yeah. I mean, that's another chance that Abbey have had this second half, isn't it? And they are definitely having the shine of this half, where really had to create anything decent at all.
67 minutes, second half. Go on, it's not pleasant listening if you're a Ware fan. If you want to know about, well, here's Baker again, and surely he was offside again. Right hand side, he got across, gets the ball across, that's going in without a shadow of a doubt. The top scorer has put the ball in the back of the net. Sam Shaban, it's his 11th of the season, but surely more question marks there about whether Ben Baker, who's absolutely run ragged, was offside.
Well, I mean, again, we're going to have to look back on the video of this, but I mean, the Ware players are just looking at it as if to say, what's going on? They don't seem to to know what to say, and it's not, like I say, it's one of them days when it just seems like everything's going against them.
Well, it's all going wrong for Paul Hawes' team, and I think I saw Bailey the dog with his paws over his eyes, I'm not sure, but certainly that kind of afternoon as far as Ware are concerned. They find themselves 4 goals behind there, and I can't help but think that the scene was set on it by that goal which was scored right on the half time, when our VAR shows that Ben Baker was a mile offside, as Giorgio threads the ball on this near side. Another long, hopeful ball which Brad Robinson will come out and collect. And you just see heads going down from visiting Ware side. It's a long old season. Defeat here against the team in third, who's not going to be disastrous as far as your playoff hopes are concerned, but certainly the way it is at the top of the table, you can see the top 2 are stretching out a little bit of a gap, and Waltham Abbey are going to be on their tails, which when you've got 3 teams there means that you've got a whole host of teams playing for 2 playoff places, which makes it even more difficult. And I get the feeling, having seen Hertford Town play last week, that they'll be there or thereabouts as well, so it could be very interesting for the local area. We don't want to concede another one, because at the moment their goal difference has suffered. They're -2 now, which is not a good goal difference to have when you're top half of the table. The board is being readied on that far side. I think Mitch Hahn might be about to come off, but long kick on that far side to Prince Stommerfry, but this time Stefanos Giorgio does get the better of him. It's been a pretty harrowing afternoon for both Ware fullbacks though. And perhaps more work to be done here as the ball finds Prince Stommerfry again. But he's forced back towards the halfway line for Corenting. Is Kieran Kathleen, who's not very solid at the back. Played more as an attacking player in time, that very brief time that he spent at Hertford. Just looking at the ball, can't quite make out the board on that far side. In fact, it's a Waltham Abbey substitution. It could be Prince Tomafro who's going to go off, and Ioma for once plays the wrong ball through and allows Fred Burbage to come out and collect it. Long kick forward, looking for Liam Dawson. Can he get to the right side of the defender? Doesn't do so, but he does win himself a throw in, which will be taken on this near side by David Sota. Kieran Cathline's gone down, might need a little bit of treatment, and substitute coming on. Just wish I'd hold that board up, would be able to sell. I think it looks like an 11 from here.
Yeah, it looks like French is going off, doesn't it? But obviously we can't quite work out who's going to be coming on yet.
Well, Jessica Smith, the therapist, has been very patient on the Waltham Abbey bench, but she's got a little work to do now as Kieran Cathline has gone down. He's going to add a little bit more on the end of a game which has 17 minutes left, and really is going to end scoreline wise anyway, fairly similar to the Biggleswade 2 weeks ago, and it's suddenly becoming just a little thing. I mean, they went to Cirencester, they won 1-0, they won 4-0 at Leighton Town, they lost 7-1 at Bedford, and it's just this inconsistency, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I mean, you can't sort of be expecting to rip up any trees, and that's the sort of. I mean, and Paul said it to us beforehand as well. He'll say to the players that you're playing like that, you're not going to make playoffs. And I think that's the one thing that he'll be thinking.
Olu Ogonowo is about to come on. And, in fact, is that 2 substitutions?
Yeah. We're just making a substitution as well. It's Millsy's coming on. And
Romina Mills comes off.
It's Richard Enning coming on.
Richard Enning comes on. So also, I think it's Shaban who's gone off. Is it Shaban who's gone off? No, he's in front of us. I think the PA announcer got a little bit confused there. But only one substitution on each side, I think. But we'll let you know about that. There were players over there. I don't know whether they were getting a drink or whatever.
That was the only 2 that were held up. So
Ramaya Mills trudges behind the goal. Didn't have the best of afternoons as Waltham Abbey in possession down by the corner flag on this near side of the field, try and get themselves out of trouble. Eventually they do, as Ridings thumps it forward. Mitch Harm brings it down for Dan Rumans and got a lot of options in front. Looks for Kieran Bishop, who gets his first touch. Bishop's back heel is a neat one, but in the end it's thumped against David Sota and goes out for a goal kick. So referee signalling perhaps another change. There is going to be another change now. That's 198 is the attendance, and it's going to be Kieran Cathline who's going to go off, and Rimmel Daniel is about to come on. Another former Ware player comes on in Rimmel Daniel. Then it's almost adding salt in the wounds, isn't it? 4-0 up and you produce 2 players who used to play for your opponents.
That's just what you don't need, isn't it, really? Like you say,
Brad Robinson's got the ball. Talking of former Ware players, I wonder how his golf's going these days. He's a big golf fan, is Brad. He will take the goal kick. Hasn't had a lot to do in the second half. We know what a good goalkeeper he is. Giorgio lets it drift under his foot, but Coker does well to get him out of trouble. He's been perhaps one, and there haven't been many bright spots of Ware's performance as Echo Coker in his Ware debut. As Freddie Moncur goes up, but his Ioma, who was certainly, once he got into the game, has been a player who's caused Ware a lot of problems in midfield. Started at Derby County and played football in the National League for Aldershot. And you can see that kind of pedigree the way he's played in this game. Far side, the ball will break away from Corenteng, and Ware will have a throw in. She's taken back to Stefanos Giorgio, but it down the line for Joe Dearman. We've seen precious little of him in this second half, and probably that's why, as he gives the ball away to Ioma. Ioma again, who's running the game in midfield as the number 10. Puts the ball back to his central defender, Triumvu, but David Soto will pounce on that one and bring in Liam Dawson. Kieran Bishop's in loads of, in fact Richard Ennin in loads of space on this near side. Space closed down, edge of the area, Liam Dawson lets it slip, and Waltham Abbey get the ball clear. Sums up the second half, I think that does. And there's a quick run for on that far side, the substitute Oganowo still going. Oganowo with the shots, and well saved by Fred Burbage. Wow, got rid of Prince Domifry, and I should think Stefanos Georgiou is looking down saying, no, they've given me another one.
Yeah, I mean, as you said earlier, there's the two Ware fullbacks have really had a poor afternoon, haven't they? They've really been tested this afternoon, and it's one that they're going to want to forget.
Corner on that far side. Waltham Abbey 4, Ware nil. So it's the big scoreboard shining even more brightly as it starts to get dark here in Essex. Is Ioma again, and once more the number 10 puts the ball across, and it's well headed out by Dan Rumans in the end, and controlled by Richard Ennin, who gets a little shove in the back from Sartorius, and the Ware will get themselves a free kick. Another substitution about to be made, and so we're going to use all the substitutes. Ace Laurent's the only one left, so we know it's him who's going to come on. But long ball forward, meanwhile, headed forward to Shaban, but his ball is a loose one, as is Georgiou's. That finds Riding's ball though finds David Soter, and Richard Ennin runs into trouble in the way of green shirts, but Freddie Moncur helps him out. Mitch Hahn finds Stefanos Georgiou, and Georgiou down the line, but on that far side the ball just drift out of play, and would allow Abbey, you would think, to make their final substitution. Is it I think it's Sartorius who's just gone off. Elliot Sartorius goes off, and Ace A. Laurent, as he's called. When you've got a name like Ace, you don't really need to put an A in front of it as well, do you?
No, you don't, do you? I mean, you wouldn't. You wouldn't be too happy if that was the case, would you?
Yeah, I think that's gilding the lily just a little too much, but he's on, wearing number 14 for Waltham Abbey, and as I said earlier, former Ware player. As on that far side, Coker does well to pull the ball back to Fred Burbage, and you just get the feeling here, 80 minutes gone, we're playing out time. Abbey are 4-0 up, and Ware will want to get a goal, because it's rare that they don't score a goal, and on that far side there might be defending to be done here again, but Georgiou does it well, brings the ball forward. Richard Ennin's in space on his near side, that's where this one's aimed. Ennin will put it back to David Soter, and Liam Dawson's gone central with Richard Ennin coming down his left hand side. Is Kieran Bishop, controls the ball well, but in the end overcooks it with the ball to the left, and really could have laid it back for Freddie Moncur, and Ware might have been in business, but Kieran is pointing out where the ball should have been, and it's interesting. I mean, we've seen now Michael Donald come in, we've seen Echo Coker come in, we've seen Kieran Bishop come back, but for me it's midfield where they need to get hold of things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've not got sort of like the creativity in there that they've had before, have they? I think that's one of the things that Paul needs to look at.
Dare I say it, they need a Brian Garzon, don't they? They need that type of player. But at the moment, anyway, we're bereft of ideas in the second half, I think. Got 9 minutes plus time added on, which will be about 3 or 4, I would have thought. Tell you how everybody else has got on before we go off air and go back in the car and put the heater on. Although talking about Wolsey will be a bit warm, I should think, after this, as Liam Dawson picks it up on the edge of the area and then plays it straight to a green and white hoop shirt. again sums up Ware's afternoon. And what about that from Ogorowa, who gets his way around and is finally pulled down by Liam Dawson. And it's going to be a free kick to Waltham Abbey, who looked at Waltham Abbey, looked at some of the results and thought they're a bit of a surprise up there, but second half performance, I think it could be a good year for them as ball is put back to Brad Robinson. Got a good amount of experience in this team, and certainly in players like Aaron Ioma, a fair amount of talent, and we've already seen how much pace they've got up front to give most teams a problem. Ball on the far side is not brought in by Oganowa, so Ware will have a throw in. It's 90 minutes live, 7 minutes plus time added on to go, in association with Easy Shelf, who we thank for sponsoring us for the season and allowing us to bring you Step 4 football. And whether it's win, lose or draw, we of course will stick it out to the end. Some of those fans, I mean, it's people who pay 70 quid to go to a Premiership game and leave before the end. I can't get my head around it.
No, I don't understand it either. I really don't. You know, there's only once when I've walked out of a game before the full-time whistle, and I wouldn't do it. Make a habit of it.
There's Richard Enning in the box, fires it across. Kieran Bishop fluffs his lines, and Waltham Abbey are allowed to get the ball clear, but Bishop in a challenge on that far side again wins the ball as the defender goes down. Got a chance to get it across the box. He does. Shot comes in from Richard Enning, and thankfully that tree's in the way. Otherwise, I would have been crying, mind my goal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was a wayward opportunity for Ware, wasn't it? Probably, really, the only thing that they created this second half, but it was nowhere near the goal.
Well, Jessica's back out again with the bag of tricks, because there's Waltham Abbey player gone down. I think it's Nathan Correntine, who went down a bit of a heap. Let's hope he's okay, because the challenge came in and he was tussling for the ball with Kieran Bishop, but in the end he's stayed down and looks to be in considerable amount of pain at the moment, so let's hope he is okay. They'd have to continue with 10 men for the remainder of the game because they've used all their subs. Only got 6 minutes and a bit left, so I don't think that'll be too much of a problem for them. As far as Ware are concerned, Hadley at home at Watson Park next Saturday. Darian Furlong has served his 3-match ban, so we will be back available for selection. It'll be interesting to see if on the back of this they decide to shuffle the back again as well. Keep an eye out for that in midweek. Check all the socials. We are of course on Instagram, the artist formerly known as Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and everything else for that matter.
We are.
When they invent another one, we'll be on it. Actually,
well, that's the thing. You say the artist formerly known as Twitter. I don't understand, because like we said, before, everywhere you read, on X, formerly known as Twitter, it's just I don't know why they bothered changing the name. I really don't.
Actually, we are on another one because we're also on Threads. Because I noticed that this morning they said, "Do you want to put a logo on Threads?" So I wang one up. So we're actually on that as well.
I don't even know what Threads is.
It's the equivalent of it's the Facebook opposition to Twitter.
Oh right, okay.
Hasn't really taken off, but it's Twitter-ish. Let's put it that way. I think you've got a higher word limit than you have on Twitter and various things. But anyway, anybody who's on that, then look for us, because we're on that as well. So can't miss us these days. We're everywhere. Throw's going to be taken on this near side, and Fred Burbage will just thump it out. It's going to break on the halfway line to Declan Riding. Hasn't said too much about him. He's had a real solid game as the number 8. And so Giorgio picks the ball up. He's had a tough time, and in the end, even his attempted clearance bounces off of Oganowo and goes out for a throw in. 87 minutes says the big clock. Can't go fast enough if you're from a Ware persuasion, I would say. And I think Bailey wants to get on with it as well, because the temperature has dropped like a brick, hasn't it?
It has,
Poor boy's
it's got
coat.
really cold lately. So, I mean, it's got, obviously it's quite open here, isn't it? So I don't think that helps things either.
Ball over this near side, looking for Richard Ennin, but here's Ben Baker. Fancy his chances again. There he goes, and David Sota gets in his way, and this time a free kick is given. David Sota says, "What for?" And he's not giving the free kick. It was the referee's assistant flagged. No doubt about that, and nothing happened. Anyway, Gareth Bishop's down the left wing on this left side, Richard Ennin rather. Richard Ennin pulls it across the box. It's Freddie Moncur goes down under challenge, and the referee has pointed to the penalty spot, has he?
It appears so, yeah. I mean, it's not very clear, is it?
It's not clear at all. Well, Freddie went down, he was in the area. Whether he was right on the edge or not, or actually where they're standing, I think he was right on the edge of the D, and he was. So the referee.
I mean, why is he pointed then? Because you don't, it's not pointed there for a free kick. It did look like he pointed for a penalty, but I mean, it is. It's right on the edge of the box. So I don't know. I mean, we'll try and guess what he's done with that one as well. I think because I'm
afraid referees are on a double, having given last week's a red font on the spreadsheet. I'm afraid Mr. Oxenham is going to be the third referee this season that gets that dubious distinction, because I think he's been pretty awful for most of the game here. Ware have got a chance to get themselves on the score sheet. Liam Dalton and Freddie Moncur are standing over the ball right on the edge of the 18-yard box. 5-man Waltham Abbey wall in the way. Freddie's shot straight into the chest of Brad Robinson. Liam Dalton just turns away, shakes his head in frustration. The big scoreboard on the right-hand side tells us we're in the last minute, and Brad Robinson clears with the left boot downfield, and Giorgio managed to get the ball away from Okanowo, but once again there's going to be 5 minutes added on. Surely if this was a boxing match, the referee would have stopped it and done us all a favour, but it's not that, so we've got to live through 5 more minutes before Waltham Abbey get all 3 points, and Ware go down to their 5th away defeat of the season, unless something really dramatic happens as Kieran Bishop fires the ball across, and it's put in the back of the net by Liam Dalton for his 11th of the season. So Ware at least get themselves on the score sheet, but you fear that it is far too little, far too late.
Yeah, I mean, you were just saying, unless anything dramatic happens, and then we're going to pull one back, but it is, it's too late for anything to happen now. Just 5 minutes of added time, and I'd be surprised if they managed to get 3 goals in that time.
Well, Liam Dalton gets goals to match his shirt number now, 11 for the season. Gets him up a little bit in the 90 minutes live golden boot. And really, when you look at the way they created that, why on earth could they not do that earlier in the game? It's Waltham Abbey are hardly pushing forward. They had a very good advantage. Very frustrating this whole game can be at times. As Stefanos Giorgio has the ball on the far side, wins Ware a throw in. 4-1 to Waltham Abbey. I suppose that's pulled one back as far as the goal difference is concerned. And I suppose the way you look at it, Paul will say it should be 3-1, but I don't think they've done enough to get a draw, or certainly not to win this game, and certainly not in this second half to get a draw.
No, I think they've been very poor this second half.
Going forward again here as Joe Dearman goes down under challenge, referee says nothing doing, and Waltham Abbey come up with the ball on that far side with Okanowo. Again, he's seen plenty of the ball since he's come on, going left, going right. Real box of tricks. Coco sorts that out, but still coming forward is the big number 5. He's going to go all the way, and why not? There's a long kick forward by Brad Robinson, and Fred Burbidge will pick it up. Is Coco going to stay up there? He is. Well, why not? 4-1 down. Stick your big centre half, all 6'5" of him in as a centre forward. In fact, he's proved me wrong now and going back to the back line as the ball picked up on that far side by Kieran Bishop. Plays the ball forward but can't find Joe Dearman, and it'll be a goal kick to Waltham Abbey. Well, I think as far as we're concerned, the one bright spot for me has been Echo Coker, really, who's equipped himself well, looks a decent player, he's good in the air, he's strong, 6'5", can play the ball along the ground, and I think it's the one bright spot we've seen all afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's he's impressed on his debut as much as you can impress in a 4-1 defeat. But he certainly looks like he's settled in this team well. You wouldn't really necessarily think he was making his debut here today, I don't think.
And I think an honourable mention for young Gabriel Chaps as well. He didn't look out of place, certainly in that first half, and continues to show us that he will be a really good prospect. As the ball is sliced out of play to the ironic cheers of the home fans in the crowd of 189. I didn't get big crowds here, which is a bit of a pity for them, but I think geography's got a bit to do with that, because there's nothing around this ground at all, and if you don't park in your car park, you're in trouble, and if you want to walk from town, you've got a bit of a route march on your hands, so that's perhaps why Waltham Abbey don't get too many here. They've been at a high level though. Played Ryman Premier football here. I played here once as I said to Simon earlier on, but that was many moons ago. Football was in black and white then. Almost number 5 comes in as Shaban somehow manages to screw it over the top of the crossbar from about 7 yards out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he came in too quick for him, didn't it? He's just stuck his foot out, tried to guide it towards him there, but it's looped over. But I think the cross took him a little bit by surprise.
Well, it was Ioma who created it again. I think, despite what Baker's done, I think that Aaron Ioma has looked a really good player at number 10. And probably player of the match as far as I'm concerned, as Ware player goes down in a heap, Kieran Bishop, and they have a free kick. We played 4 of the 5 to be added on, so time running out. Can we get a second goal here? Well, Dan Romans has come up from the back, fancying his 3rd of the season. It's going to be Joe Dearman who's going to take it, long ball forward, there goes Dan, gets his head to it, can't flick it anywhere near the goal, and I think when Brad Robinson retrieves this, that will be that. As far as we're concerned, they've been well beaten here despite having a very good first half. Haven't played in the second. We'll have a word with Paul Halsey afterwards, as we always do, and always appreciate managers that talk to us when things haven't gone well for their teams, and that will appear on 90 Minutes Live post-match. Tomorrow as the referee, Mr. Oxenham, who's not covered himself in glory, I've got to say, but in that second half, neither have Ware, because they've been beaten by 4 goals to 1. 2 in the first half. Kieran Cataline after 26 minutes with some poor defending, equally poor refereeing right on the half time, when Ben Baker, as we've seen it, was a good 7 or 8 yards offside when he ran through to score. Number 3, Baker was involved again, this time again suspiciously looking offside in the second half, and then it was the top scorer back in the side today, Sam Shaban, who scored number 4 before Liam Dawson scored from Kieran Bishop's ball in for his 11th goal of the season, and a bit of scant consolation. Paul Halsey is having a word with the referee.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't blame him. I really don't blame him after that performance from the referee, and I think he's got every right to do so. Well,
Paul's having a word with the referee, gives it a little pat on the head to Brad Robinson. I know well, and Paul still having a word with referee, and both his assistants. The referee grabbed both his assistants together to stand there because I think he knew what was coming. And Dan Brumans is still there debating as well. Paul's having a word with all the officials, and Mr. Oxenham will walk. He will get changed, get in his car, and go back to Egham in Surrey. And nothing personal, but I hope I don't see him again this season. And I'm sure that'll be in the thoughts of Ware boss Paul Halsey. It's finished here 4-1 to Waltham Abbey. Can start working out the top of the table. Abbey will have played 13 now and moving on to 24 points and done their goal difference a bit of good as well. They'll now be on plus 11. Ware will be on play 12. Will still remain on 20 points, and their goal difference will go down to -1. So a 4-point gap open between the two teams, but Ware have still got a game in hand. Let's not forget that one, and we will look and find out what's happening elsewhere before we leave you here to go in pursuit of Paul Halsey, who's probably going to go in pursuit and find where Bailey the dog is as well. Got to say, I don't think he's a lovely dog, is Bailey, but he's not been a good omen so far. The last 2 games he's been at, Where have conceded 8 and scored 1. Maybe Bailey would be about being at home with his bone, you never know, but not going to tell Paul that one, of course, as we wait for the scores to come in. At half-time involving our other 2 sides, Hertford were 1-1 at Kempston with a goal from Wilson Burnell, and Wellington City were 1-1 at Leighton Town as well. Darnell Winter, who started off really quickly this season, scored his first goal for a while for the Citizens. Bedford were 1-up at Stockfold. Northley were winning 2-0 against Tame. AFC Dunstable led Cirencester 1-0, but you never know what's going to happen when AFC Dunstable are involved. And Hadley were doing pretty well, 1-1 at home to a Kings Langley side who, I don't know, they seem to be fading a bit. I know certain people don't feel that they're of the calibre to get themselves in the top 5, but still maintain anybody and beat anybody in this league, and I'm thinking it's going to be a decent score for Welwyn Garden City, what I'm looking up here. So I think the goals have been rattling in at Leighton Town, so good news for Mark Weatherstone's team by the sound of it, which is where we'll be this time next week at the Bankershurst for Welwyn Garden City, who were 15th this morning against Barton Rovers, and they were on 11 points. Should they have won, which I do suspect, looking over Simon's shoulder they have, then they'll move on to 14, which in theory only puts them maybe 2 wins out of a playoff place. So from a poor start to the season, Mark Weatherstone will be hoping that his team can cause some problems at the top end of the table, having spent a while looking down. To see a picture of Darnell Winter flashing across, having got to see another goal coming up for Welwyn Garden City. 2-1, 3-1 by the look of it, and not sure who the goal scorers are, I think, is our issue there, but seems like good news.
It is, yeah. I'm just getting the last results, so I'll save those 2 for you. So Bedford Town have beaten Stockfold 2-0. AFC Dunstable, after having been 1-0 up on Cirencester at half-time, Cirencester came back to win 3-2. And it was 2-2 between Aylesbury and Kidlington. Biggleswade got another couple of Biggleswade Town, got another couple of goals in the second half against Barton Rovers and ran out 3-1 winners. Hadley have picked up 3 points against Kings Langley, and they've won 2-1. And Welwyn Garden City, they got another win, so it's 2 on the bounce for them. 4-1 victory against Leighton Town. Darnell Winter, Lucas Jordan, Gucci, who is a new signing for them, and Cyrus Babai with a 4-1 there for them. And Hertford, they've also won 4-1. Goal for Wilson Burnell, Sadasi Sendeji and Brian Garzon with a brace.
Terrific stuff from Hertford and Welwyn Garden City, and my word, right, gonna have to I've got a real jumble here as far as the top of the table goes. What I can tell you is that the top 3 remain exactly as they were this morning. We've got Bedford on top with 30, Northley, who've played 1 more game with 27, Waltham Abbey, who've also played 1 more game than Bedford with 24. We've then got Cirencester, who make their way up into 4th place above Ware with 22. We've then got Ware and Hertford both on 20 points, and Hertford with a +2. In fact, Hertford will go into 5th place, Ware will be 6th, and AFC Dunstable will be 7th. Kings Langley will be 8th, as far as I make up the top of the table. So Hertford tonight, with that 4-1 win following on the excellent performance against North Lee last Saturday, find themselves for the first time this season in the playoff spots. Welwyn Garden City, not quite sure where they'll be, but that win leaves them just 4 points behind Kings Langley, 3 points rather, behind Kings Langley, having played a game more, and Kings Langley will be 8th.
Excellent. Yeah, good results for Hertford and Welwyn Garden City today, so congratulations to them. So, I mean, it's 4-1 all round, Pete. Yeah,
3-4-1s, but unfortunately we picked the wrong one, but never mind. I hope you enjoyed our coverage here on 90 Minutes Live in association with Easy Shelf. Paul Housey will be coming up on the post-match feed tomorrow and next week. Hope you can join us at the Blackshurst, where Welwyn Garden City, with those 2 excellent away wins, will be at home to Barton Rovers. Hope to join you then. Keep warm. Thanks for your company, and we'll leave you with the full-time score here from Gabba Shots, which finished Waltham Abbey 4, Ware 1.